ඔබත් SLT පාරිභෝගිකයෙකු නම් ඔබේ හිතවතෙකුට SLT නව සබඳතාවයක් 50%ක වටනමක් සහිතව ලබා දී ඔබේ බිල්පතට රුපියල් 6000ක් දක්වා වටනමක් හිමි කරගන්න.
Tonight, future looks bright. The President and the Prime Minister stress that Sri Lanka's future depends on a unified contribution by all its citizens. Bugs in the system. Parliament gazettes Dr. Vijayadasa Rajpaksha's constitutional amendment draft bills. No comprehensive request. SLPP chairman reveals former government's lack of diligence in getting Arjuna Mahendran extradited. Spirited move. Ethanol imports for liquor manufacturing banned. US embassy attacked in Baghdad. Donald Trump issues a New Year message to Iran, laden with a threat. All that and much more coming up on First at 9, this Wednesday, the 1st of January, 2020.
It always feels good when you are appreciated. SLT non-stop broadband. Free loyalty data added as you stay connected.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Hello, good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhammika Ekanaika. Let's start with your local stories. Now, as people bid goodbye to 2019 and welcome to 2020, a new year and a new decade, celebrations worldwide kicked off with traditional fireworks, starting off midnight revelry and providing a stunning visual feast to behold. In most cities across the world, the start of a new decade of the 21st century was welcomed by revelers last night, full of festive cheer, excitement, new hope, and the elaborate fireworks displays. The first country to welcome the new year is the tiny Pacific island of Kiribati. However, the first fireworks to celebrate the new year kicked off in Auckland, New Zealand, where the Sky City Tower played host. In Australia, raging bushfires in the state of Victoria didn't dampen the country's New Year celebrations, with the Sydney Opera House and Harbour being the traditional backdrop for one of the most iconic New Year fireworks displays. The citizens of Japan were next in line to welcome the New Year. In North Korea, as is expected from the hermit nation, the New Year was celebrated in a more cultural fashion compared to most countries in the world. Just across the border, South Koreans engaged in traditional celebrations. In China, celebrations were customarily colorful as expected each year. However, in Hong Kong, with people still reeling from anti-government protests in the past months, citizens dawned the new year with expectations of a more peaceful year. In this backdrop, the island's famed fireworks display was cancelled due to security concerns. Revelers in Thailand, meanwhile, were treated to a stunning fireworks display as celebrations continued throughout the night. The world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, set an imposing backdrop for New Year celebrations in Dubai. Celebrations in Russia also kicked off with another stunning fireworks display in Moscow. London, the newly refurbished Big Ben rung in the new year after a lapse of a few years, also with a fireworks display.
Together with all roads leading to Wembley Stadium. It's the year when football comes home. It's the UEFA Euro 2020 finals in London.
In France, the Arc de Triomphe once again played host to one of the most picturesque New Year celebrations in the world. Probably the most famous New Year celebrations happened in the iconic Times Square in New York.
The bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself.
The last country to ring in the new year is the tiny island of American Samoa, right on the edge of the international dateline. Meanwhile, back home, Sri Lankans from all walks of life flocked to many public venues to ring in 2020 after a challenging 2019. The historical Galle Fort saw thousands of people gathering by its ramparts to welcome the new year. In addition, while some members of the public preferred midnight revelry, religious observances also took pride of place for others in many locations across the island.
Gel scene action. Anti-germ mouthwash samaging in a close-up gel like a story ka start karanna.
Now, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa issued their customary New Year messages today, expressing confidence that Sri Lanka's future looks bright, but stressing that it depends on the unified contribution by all of its citizens in order to realize the country's true potential. Now, President Gotabaya pledged that he will not allow any force to obstruct the realization of the public's expectations of a well-protected nation with a disciplined society, adding that his sole aim is to create a conducive environment where all can live in peace and harmony. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in his New Year message for 2020 says that the New Year dawns on the country at a time when the entire nation is beaming with hope for a new era in its economic, political, social, cultural and technological spheres. He added that his government welcomes the new year with determination and commitment to making 2020 a year of prosperity. The president added that as a country with its own vision, all Sri Lankans can be proud of many great past achievements, and that his government steps into the new year with the utmost commitment to ensure prosperity by awakening the country's identities and skills and by interfacing them with modernity. He also stressed that the country is in need of a strong and vibrant economy that gives priority to nationalistic aspirations. The president added that he is aware that the chief expectation of the people at this moment in time is for a well-protected nation with a disciplined society where the aspirations of the present and future generations can become a reality, and as adults should act in unison to reach such objectives. He emphasized that he will not allow any force to obstruct the realization of these public expectations, and that his sole aim is to create a conducive environment where all can live harmoniously in peace. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa concluded his message stating that it is his fervent belief and hope that the freshness formed in the hearts and minds of the people with the advent of the new year will facilitate the implementation of his blueprint to build a whole new country. In the meantime, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa also issued his customary New Year message, saying that the country has entered the new decade at a time when a president has been elected with an overwhelming public mandate and a new government has been formed and is in the process of commencing work. He added that the change in government, the hope of a new Sri Lanka, has galvanized and inspired the country's youth. The statement highlighted that the most important feature of this new trend is that young people have spontaneously come forward without any intervention from the government to assume leadership of the task of building a new Sri Lanka. This was evident, the Prime Minister stated, in how the youth have engaged in beautifying public walls throughout the country by decorating them with murals and commended the role of social media in bringing them together. The Prime Minister added that a similar trend was witnessed among the youth during the war against the LTTE, where young people of that time never looked back until the LTTE was defeated and peace restored to the country. In conclusion, Prime Minister Rajapaksa voiced his belief that at a time when the world recognizes the 21st century as the Asian century, everyone should work together to make the third decade of the 21st century the Sri Lankan decade, where the country finally makes a lasting mark on the world through the achieving of unified peace and prosperity for all. Now, Prime Minister Mahendra Rajapaksa in the meantime celebrated the dawn of the new year, engaging in religious observances in the sacred city of Kataragama. To celebrate the dawning of the new year, Prime Minister Mahendra Rajapaksa arrived at the sacred city of Kataragama, where he engaged in religious observances at the Kirivehera temple in the early hours of the morning.
මේ කාලේ අපි දන්න එළවලු මිල ගිහිල්ලා ඒක රාජ්‍යපාලනයේ දුර්වලතාවයක් නේ ලංකා පුරා මහා ගංගතුරක් ඇවිල්ලා රට විශාල හානියටපත් වුණා. ආල් මිල ගිහිල්ලා එළවලු මිල ඇත්තේ ඒක බොරුවක් නෙවෙයි. ඉතින් මේක මම හිතන්නේ මිනිස්සු කල්පනා කරන්න ඕනේ මේක රජයකට වතුර ගැලීම නවත්තන්න පුළුවන් නම් කිසියම් අවුලක් නැහැ. මේ කාලය තුල විශාල ප්‍රගති ජනතාවට හොඳ අදහස් ඇති වෙන වැඩසටහන් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරා සීමිත විදියට අපි දන්න බදු අඩු කරා. ඒක මේ මොහොතේ මාසෙන් මාසෙන් ඉහළ යන තෙල් මිල නැති වෙලා තියෙනවා. මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්නේ විශේෂයෙන්ම පක්ෂ හැම කෙනෙක්ම කතා කරන්න අවස්ථාවාදී වෙන්නට එපා. රටක් හදන්න කල්පනා කරලා වත්මන් රජයේ හොඳ වැඩවලට සහාය දෙන්න. අනිත් ඒවා ඉවත් වෙන්න. එහෙම නැතුව ජනතාව මුලා නොකර මෙතෙක් මේ රට මේ තියෙන අගාධයෙන් ගොඩ ගන්නට අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ ඔය තියෙන බොළඳ මානසිකත්වයෙන් තොරව මේ සහාය දීලා රට ශක්තිමත් කරන්න. ඒක තමයි මහා පින්කම.
Afterwards, the Prime Minister participated in a religious ceremony to invoke blessings on former Prime Minister late Sirimao Bandaranaike. Prime Minister Mahendra Rajapaksa then arrived at the Vajiragiriya temple in Tangle, where he engaged in gifting special nutrition packs to expectant mothers and stationery to school children from the area.
India කියන අපේ නායකයන්ගේ භාෂා 60 ගානක්. එක ජාති ගීයයි. මේ ජාති ගී දෙකක් යොමු කරලා කොටාබේ රාජමහත්තුමා මහින්ද රාජමහත්තුමලු කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේ තීන්දුව කරා නෑ මේක කාලය ගත වෙන අනවශ්‍ය වැඩ ලෝකේ අනිත් රටවල් දිහා බලන්න. බලලා අපි එක ජාති ගීයක් කරමු. ඉස්සා දැන් උතුරු නැගෙනහිර ඉන්න දෙමළයි කියනවා අපි ජාති ගී ගායනා කරා. මේ අවුරුදු ගානක් ගායනා කරපු ජාති අවුරුදු 5ක් මේගොල්ලෝ අර වෙනස් වෙලා දැන් තමිල්නාඩුවෙන් බලගන්නවා නෑ එහෙම කරන්න බෑ අපේ මේ රට විනාශ කරන ඡන්දවලට කෑදවන නායකයින්ට අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා රට ගැන හිතන්න ඡන්ද ගැන හිතන්න එපා. පෙරහැරි දුටුම රජුගේ රූපය අරන් කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. ගිය අවුරුද්දේ පෙරහැරි මට තහංචියක් දැම්මා. ගාමිණී ජයග්‍රහතුමාට දුරකථන පාඩයක් අරන් දුන්නා. පස්සේ එතුමා ගනවා අනේ පෙස්සාවගයක් කියලා මං කොත් දෙගියනේ පෙස්සන් එන්න ඕන දුටුගැමුණු රජුරුවන්ගේ රූප වෙනුවට මහින්ද මෙතුමාගේ රූපය අරන් යනවා නම් මේ අරන් යන්නේ මේ දේවාලය හදුව මිනිස්සෙගේ රූපේ. පස්සේ මට තාමක අරන් යන්න මෙපා කියලා පස්සේ නිලුතුමාට අසරණයි. ඒතනේ හිතුවම කොයිපයි කිව්වේ. මේ ඔබතුමා මේ රට බේරගත්තනේ. ඔබතුමාටත් මේ ගෞරවයයි කියලා මට තහංචි දැම්මා. දුටුගැමුණු රජුරුවන්ගේ රූපය අරන් මගේ බලයට අරන් ගියේ මැතිතුමනි. දැන් මේ අපේ අනන්‍යතාව අපිට ආරක්ෂා කරන් දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Following this, he attended the first offering of the year at the Kataragama Devalaya. Now, the Parliament has gazetted the 21st and 22nd Amendment draft bills to the Constitution, which were presented to the Parliament by Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. The 21st Amendment deals with revoking the 15th Amendment to the Constitution, while the 22nd Amendment proposes to make changes to certain malignant elements included in the 19th Amendment. Parliamentarian Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, via a private member's bill, proposes to revoke the 15th Amendment to the Constitution, which will result in the vote percentage required by a recognised political party in a district to warrant a parliamentary seat being restored at 12.5% from the existing 5%.
1988 දෙසැම්බර් මාසයේ 19 වෙනිදා අපේ රටේ විධායක ජනාධිපතිවරයා තෝරන ජනාධිපතිවරණය පැවතුණා. ඒට ඉදිරිපත් වුණු එවකට අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය රණසිංහ ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට අශ්රොප් මහත්මයා විසින් ඉදිරිපත් කළ යෝජනාවක් ඔහුගේ ඡන්ද ජයග්‍රහණය තහවුරු කිරීම පිණිස මුස්ලිම් ජනතාවගේ ඡන්දය එතුමාට ලබා දෙන්න නම් 15 වෙනි ආණ්ඩු ක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධනය සම්මත කරලා දෙන්න. ඒ අනුව හදිසි පනතක් විදියට මැතිවරණයට දින දෙකකට කලින් 15 වෙනි ආණ්ඩු ක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධනය සම්මත කළා. ඒකේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදියට සුළු දේශපාලන පක්ෂ මගින් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයේ වර්ධනය කිරීම පස්සේ කළා, ජාතිවාදයේ වර්ධනය කිරීම සිද්ධ කරා. ඒකේ ප්‍රතිඵලය උනේ හැමදාම ප්‍රධාන දේශපාලන කණ්ඩායම් ආසන 100ක් 105ක් වගේ ප්‍රමාණයක් ලබා ගත්තත් සුළු ජාතික පක්ෂයක මන්ත්‍රී ආසන 7-8ක් නොමැතිව 113ක් බලය සඳහා ලබා ගන්න බැරි වීම හේතුවෙන් ඒ සුළු කණ්ඩායම් එක්ක හදන ආණ්ඩු තුල නිරන්තරයෙන් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ අර මන්ත්‍රීවරු 7 දෙනෙක් හෝ 8 දෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා හදන ආණ්ඩුව තුල මහපක්ෂ අතකොළුවක් බවට පත් වෙනවා අර කුඩා පාර්ලිමේන්තු කණ්ඩායමක 7-8 දෙනෙක්ගේ. ඒක නිසා මුළු අපේ ආණ්ඩු ක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථා සන්දර්භයම දැන් විකෘති වෙලා තියෙනවා.
The draft bill of the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution meanwhile proposes that the President make appointment of judges to upper courts in consultation with the Judicial Service Commission instead of them being made by the Constitutional Council. In addition, the 21st Amendment also moots that the President make the appointments of Attorney General, IGP, Secretary General of Parliament and Ombudsman following consultations with the Prime Minister, taking the relevant power away from the Constitutional Council. It also insists that the head of state must be the commander-in-chief while being able to hold other ministerial portfolios.
ජනාධිපතිවරයා ජාතික ආරක්ෂාව පිළිබඳව පූර්ණ වගකීම දැරිය යුතුයි. ජනාධිපතිවරයා අනිවාර්ය ලෙස සේනාධි නායකයා විය යුතුයි. එතකොට සියලු හමුදාවන් වල සේනාධි නායකයෙකුත් ආරක්ෂක ඇමතිවරයෙකුත් කියලා රටක දෙදෙනෙක් ඉන්න බෑ. ඉහළ අධිකරණවලට විනිසුරුවරුන් පත් කිරීම සහ ඒ ආණ්ඩු ක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ උපලේඛනයේ සඳහන් ඉහළ රාජ්‍ය නිලධාරීන් පත් කිරීමේ කටයුත්තේදී පහුගිය අවුරුදු 4 පුරාවටම ව්‍යවස්ථාදායක සභාව කිසිම අවස්ථාවක ස්වාධීනව කටයුතු කළේ නැහැ. ඊටමත්ම පක්ෂග්‍රාහී ලෙස කටයුතු කළා. ඒ පක්ෂග්‍රාහී ලෙස කටයුතු කිරීමේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් නිසා තමයි පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පවා අපිට වළක්ව ගන්නට බැරි වුණේ. සුදුසු තැන්වලට සුදුසු අය පත් කිරීම වළක්වාලනු ලැබුවේ ව්‍යවස්ථාදායක සභාව. හැබැයි 19 වෙනි ආණ්ඩු ක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවෙන් රටට අහිතකර ප්‍රතිඵල ගෙන දීමට බලපාපු වගන්ති වෙනස් කිරීම සඳහා සහ ස්ථාවර ආණ්ඩුවක් පවත්වාගෙන යාම සඳහාත් රටේ ජාතික ආරක්ෂාව තහවුරු කළ හැකි ආකාරයට අදාළ අංශවල පත් කිරීම සිදු කිරීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය සංශෝධන කිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. 18 වෙනි සංශෝධනය නැවත බලාත්මක කිරීම පිළිබඳව කිසිම තීන්දුවක් අරගෙන නැහැ.
Now, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peruna, Professor G.L. Peiris, reveals that the Singaporean government has informed the Sri Lankan government that no comprehensive request has been made for the extradition of former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran in connection with the bond scam. He made these comments at a media briefing held at the party headquarters in Colombo.
වසරේදීවත් මේ මහා බැංකු බැඳුම් කර වංචාවට ක්‍රියායට එරෙහිව දාල කටයුතු නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙයිද?
සිංගප්පූරු රජය කියලා තිබුණා ඒගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍ය ලිය කියවිලි සම්පූර්ණ වශයෙන් පහුගිය රජයේ සිංගප්පූරු රජයට එලා තිබුණේ නැහැ කියලා. අර්ජුන මහේන්ද්‍රන් මෙහෙට ගෙන්නන්න නම් විධිමත් ලෙස ඉල්ලීමක් කළ යුතුයි. යම් යම් ලේඛන සිංගප්පූරු රජයට ලබා දිය යුතුයි. ඒ වැඩපිළිවෙල සම්පූර්ණ වශයෙන් කෙරුණේ නැහැ. ඉතින් මේ සියල්ලක්ම අවංකව නව රජයට දී කිරීම.
ඒ වගේම මහ ජනතාව අතරේ මතයක් ගොඩ නැගිලා තියෙනවා මේ දේශපාලන පක්ෂ අතර තියෙන ඩීල් නිසා ඇත්තටම අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ ඉටු වෙන එකක් නැහැ කියලා.
අපේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වෙනස් යහපාලන ප්‍රතිපත්තියට වඩා. දේශපාලන එදිරිවාදියෙකු හිරේ ගියාම උදම් වීමේ වමනාවක් අපිට නැහැ. අපේ එදිරිවාදියෙකුට අපදීලා නිදහස් කරාම ඒ ගැන ලොකු කනස්සල්ලකට පත්වීමත් අපේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය නෙමෙයි. මේ සියල්ලක්ම කාටද බාර දෙන්න ඕනේ? මේව බාර දෙන්න ඕනේ රටේ අධිකරණය. අපි නියෝග දෙන්න අහවල් එක්කෙනාට අප දෙන්න අහවල් එක්කෙනා නිදහස් කරන්න නීතියේ ස්වාධිපත්‍යය අපිට වැදගත් දෙයක්.
We'll see you again after this very short break. Stay tuned. welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, Dr. Sarath Premasiri, Senior Scientist of the Environmental Division of the National Building Research Organisation, warns that air quality levels at midnight time in Colombo and Kandy have shown an increase and warns members of the public sensitive to air pollution to take necessary precautions. However, Dr. Premasiri highlighted the fact that daytime levels remain at a more acceptable level.
These days we can see the pollutant levels, especially particulate pollutant levels, are somewhat high during the night time from 10 p.m. to morning 10. As example, our air quality index values was in between 100 and 150. Some hours exceeded 150 levels as well. That means the pollutant levels are in the levels of unhealthy for sensitive groups. Therefore, sensitive groups has to be alert in this situation. If they get uncomfortable breathing, they have to take the medicine as well as use a face mask. But the situation is not very bad. With the sun rising from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. the pollutant levels are get reduced up to the moderate level, that is between 150 to 100 air quality index values. This situation happened about last 3 days, and if we consider the 31st night pollutant levels, it was somewhat 10% higher than the 30th. So it may be due to firecrackers and all other firework during the 31st due to the new year, but it is not severe reduction. It is only about 10% of the particulate matter, and we hope this situation will be continue about 2 to 3 days further depending on the climate. Especially high pollution levels are recorded during night time. In daytime there is no such situation.
Now, moving on with other local stories, ex-Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne was taken to the general ward today after receiving treatment at the ICU of the Lanka hospitals located in Narahinta for a week. Senaratne was arrested by the CID as a suspect in the controversial white van media briefing while receiving medical treatment at the hospital. The former minister was granted bail by the Colombo Magistrates Court on the 30th of December. Meanwhile, several political representatives also called at the hospital today as well to look into the health of MP Senaratne. Now, the first term of schools in the new year is set to start tomorrow. However, the Department of Examinations says that 47 schools used for Phase 1 of 2019 GCE Ordinary Level paper marking will remain closed until the 6th. Ordinary level Phase 1 paper marking is worked off at 110 marking centres established within 84 schools in 56 towns. The Department of Examinations added that 2 of the 47 schools will be closed on the 6th as well. The remaining 37 schools, however, along with every other school in the country, will reopen for the first school term tomorrow. Now, importation of ethanol for liquor manufacturing has been banned upon the directives of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Issuing a media communique, the Ministry of Finance stated that the ban will come into effect from today. Reportedly, this action has been taken considering that ethanol is widely produced within the country. Now, in a welcome boost for the country's lagging tourism industry, Sri Lanka was named as Asia's best travel destination for wildlife tourism at the recently concluded Top Asia Corporate Bull 2019 held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. RHA Media, the publisher for the premier business, people and lifestyle magazines Top 10 of Malaysia and Top 10 of Asia, carried out a survey conducted on Asian countries where Sri Lanka was ranked number 1 from a short list of 5 countries in the category of Asia's best nation for wildlife tourism. High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in Malaysia, Kapila Jayampathy, accepted the award on behalf of the country. Leading Malaysian CEOs and personalities from 20 Asian countries attended the event. US President Donald Trump confirmed yesterday that Phase 1 trade deal with China agreed to last December is to be inked in the 15th or on the 15th of this month. This will be the first concrete sign of a thawing in the trade war between the two largest economies that has sent shockwaves throughout the markets and industries over the world. US President Donald Trump said yesterday that Phase 1 of the trade deal with China would be signed on the 15th of January at the White House, although considerable confusion still remains regarding the exact details of the agreement. Trump tweeted that he would sign the deal with high-level representatives of China and that he would later travel to Beijing to begin talks on the next phase. Last week, Trump said that he and Chinese President Xi Jinping would host a signing ceremony to ink the Phase 1 deal. The Phase 1 deal struck earlier this month is expected to reduce tariffs and boost Chinese purchasers of American farm, energy and manufactured goods while addressing some disputes over intellectual property. However, no version of the text has been made public and Chinese officials are yet to publicly commit to key plans such as increasing imports of US goods and services by $200 billion over 2 years. The United States Trade Representative said that the Phase 1 deal includes stronger Chinese legal protection for parents, trademarks, copyrights, including improved criminal and civil procedures to combat online infringements and pirated and counterfeit goods. Issues such as industrial subsidies, meanwhile, are expected to be addressed in a later deal. We take a look at what's happening around the world on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is First at 9. Now, US President Donald Trump tweeted yesterday that Iran will be held accountable for lives lost in attacks on any US facilities, hours after protesters angry about US airstrikes on Iraq hurled stones and torched a security post at the US Embassy in Baghdad. The US military carried out airstrikes on Sunday against the Iran-backed Kataib Hezbollah militia group in response to the killing of a US civilian contractor in a rocket attack on an Iraq military base. Trump tweeted, quote, "The US Embassy in Iraq is and has been for hours safe. Many of our great warfighters, together with the most lethal military equipment in the world, was immediately rushed to the site," unquote. The US Department of Defense yesterday released images of US Marines in Kuwait being deployed to Iraq following violent demonstrations outside the US Embassy in Baghdad by protesters and militia fighters, that is, enraged by American airstrikes. Defense Secretary Mike Esper said that he had authorized the deployment of an infantry battalion from the Immediate Response Force of the 82nd Airborne Division. He added that apart from the immediate deployment, additional forces from the IRF are prepared to deploy over the next several days. Video released by the Department of Defense showed US Marine Ospreys dropping off Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force Crisis Response Central Command Marines at the embassy grounds, as well as US Army Apache helicopters deploying flares over the area. Now, 7 people have died and over 200 homes have been destroyed by devastating bushfires which have hit southern New South Wales in Australia. The NSW Rural Fire Service today confirmed that 3 more bodies have been found after the earlier deaths of 4 people. Yesterday, the bodies of a father and son were found in Cobrago. Now, it is believed that they died while trying to defend their property. Local media, meanwhile, also reported a further death in Victoria. The deaths bring the total of fire-related fatalities across Australia this season to at least 18, with warnings that this could still rise. Of the homes destroyed, 43 were in Great Gippsland, Victoria, while another 176 were in New South Wales. Earlier today, New South Wales Rural Fire Service said 916 homes had been destroyed this season, with another 363 damaged and 8,159 saved. New South Wales Premier said workers would take advantage of the milder weather today to clear roads and restore power, but she said temperatures were expected to rise again on Saturday. Now, Sri Lanka Cricket today officially announced the 16-member T20 squad for the Tour of India, which comprises of 3 matches. The team is being captained by veteran pace bowler Lasith Malinga. Meanwhile, Angela Matthews is also included in the squad, who returns to the side after a hiatus from the shortest format owing to an injury. Now, Kasun Rajitha takes the place of Nuwan Pradeep as the pacer sustained an injury during training. The first match is set to be played on the 7th of January at the Holkar Cricket Stadium in Indore. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching.